Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, oh, the mind, what a joyride it can be. Seems like sometimes the mind is churning up its stories faster than we know what to do with. But you are with yourself, and that is saying something. Today we're talking about how you go free even if your mind is conjuring up the cuckoo. Our inspiration is some sacred space for you, some sacred reminders for yourself. And we'll have a beautiful letter from a friend who wonders about that internal tennis match, back and forth of the upset. All this and more. Come grab a cup of yum yum and meet me here. And before we get this show rolling, I wanted to let you know there's a healing circle happening with me online on Zoom, November 12th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Links to join us are in the show notes or robinhallett.com. Well, hello, beautiful friend. It's me, Robin. Welcome back to the podcast, Tea with Robin. This is episode 113, 113. Hello, hello, hello. If it's your first time here, hi. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy it. Friends, how's the weather in your heart? How have you been doing? Always my prayer you are practicing with me on this journey through all of its wacky twists and turns, all of the evolutions that continue to come, that you continue to choose to practice, to be kind and loving inside your own heart and show up for your life in ways that are meaningful and real for you. Over here, it's a beautiful day. It is coming up to Halloween over here, and oh boy, big Voters' Day here in the States, which I have a feeling is going to carry on for a few weeks after Voters' Day. You know, there's a lot moving and flowing in my heart, in my world, in all of you that I know and ride with on this journey. There's a lot moving and shaking, and life is beautiful. That's what I'm choosing to feel in this moment. Life is beautiful. We are here. There is just such a deep gratitude in my heart for each of us who's awake, doing what we can to shine a little light, to remember the light, to practice the light, to travel in the light in our hearts. It's amazing, and I feel so much gratitude. So thank you for that. It's a beautiful day here. The leaves still haven't all quite turned, but there are gorgeous, I'm looking out the window, gorgeous reds and oranges, and that's still that chartreusey green. I was out mowing the lawn yesterday, cleaning up the fall cleanup. Boy, that's one thing I chose to do at the start of the pandemic when I noticed that my income was really going to be impacted. I looked around in my budget. I looked around in my life and said, where can I spend less and therefore have more? You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you ever think about abundance that way? You don't have to earn more money. Sometimes you have to figure out how you spend less money to have more. So mowing the lawn became something that I thought about. And I got to tell you, I have learned you do not have to mow the lawn every week. So I don't know if you've had those pandemic experiences where you realize I have been paying for things I didn't need, overpaying, overspending on stuff I didn't need. So anyway, that's a side note, but I've been out in the yard doing some beautiful work. I was going to say vacuuming up the leaves, but I guess the lawnmower is not a vacuum. Learning how to mulch, learning how to do things is really cool. I feel so empowered and also grateful to have things to do with my time instead of frittering the day away on the old stuff. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. Let's not fritter the day away on the old stuff, my friend. And before we do that, you know what comes next, don't you? Did you bring a cup of yum yum? Did you? Huh? Did you? I did. I have some yummy coffee from this morning, and I'll be switching to tea soon enough, but it's still early here. I've just finished Morning Magic, and I felt so inspired. I came right upstairs to record, and I wanted to hang out with you too and share this love. So that's what I say we cheers to. Here's to this love. Here's to this joy. Here's to the freedom to choose. Here's to all is well. Cheers. So today I thought we would dive into this thing. I don't know if you've been listening to the last few episodes, but this is kind of a continuation. No need to stop and listen to the old ones unless you really like to do it in order. If you do, then episode 111, the Nope list, learning how to put things on a list so that we can start to practice with the familiar, habitual, horrible stories we fall into and never seem to practice on. They just enter our minds, and then we're off to the races again, that kind of a thing. So episode 112, talking about your ego and the ways we were wounded and the stories we learned to tell, and how we are so much more than a story, and how we are always making meaning of our upset. And a lot of times that's based on our wounding. So, basically, in a nutshell, you tell yourself it's a horrible experience. But we are more than the story we tell. So today I want to talk about getting to the heart of it, getting into the nougat of the thing. Some of you really want to know how to be done for real with the stories. How to be done with the terror and the fear. How to be done with the tennis match. I sometimes call it, yes or no. Am I okay? Am I not okay? Is it going to be all right? Is it not going to be all right? It's not all right. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. And I should say we have a great letter coming up that highlights this so beautifully too. But today we're going to talk about let's get in there and really do this work. Really, 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 really. Not like you haven't been doing this work already, I know. But like really, really. If you want to go beyond just the two polar opposite states of being, you're either a loser or you're a winner kind of a story, whatever your story is. It begins with a commitment to your own gorgeous heart. Will you make a commitment to your own beautiful heart? I am going to show up with you. I am going to stay present with you. I am going to remember the light you truly are. Begins with that commitment. I am going to stay present and awake inside whatever upset comes my way. Whether I'm scrolling the news feeds, social media, watching TV, having those conversations with people who are churning their upset, no matter what's happening at the school your kids are at, or with the relationships that are going through their own awakenings now, whatever it is. The pandemic, voting, oh my goodness. Whatever it is. You got a spouse who's very depressed now, and there you are. Whatever it is. We have to make the commitment, let me stay awake inside my own heart. Will you make that commitment to the best of your ability? I'm not asking you for a perfect track record because, I would be voted off the island already like 5 episodes ago if that was the case. I gotta say, my own mind is the most wonderland place ever and more like the house of horror a lot of times, So don't worry about it if you're regularly bombarded in the upset. I have talked to you so many times about the summer of my discontent where I was really, really going over the edge daily, like insomnia for months on end and really, really dire. So even if you're there, you can practice with me by making this simple commitment. I will stay with my heart. I will choose my freedom. I will choose my perspective. I will recognize I'm allowing a story to be generated in my mind right now, and I am glomming onto that story. Or I am allowing a conversation I am participating in now to enter in and change my mental and emotional mood. The landscape is changing because I'm allowing it. I'm not doing anything other than allowing it. I'm relating, I'm talking, I'm listening, and I'm allowing myself to become activated by what somebody else is choosing to talk about or not talk about, Stay awake in your own heart. Stay awake in your own heart. I'm awake in here. Oh my God. Yesterday I was having these thoughts. Oh my God. I have put stuff on the nope list I can no longer talk to you about because it's on the nope list. But if you're a regular listener, you already know what my issues are. Do you not, my friend? So here's what I've discovered. They are on the nope list. They don't come up now, but new things are arriving every minute of every day. It's so funny. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Every 3 minutes of every day. Now there's new stories. So the latest one is like, I'm not going to tell the story. I'm just going to say there are new stories that emerge. This is not a game of whack-a-mole where all you have to do is whack the story back into its hole. It's about saying, I see you, story. I see you, story. I see you there. And I'm right here, awake, too. I'm here. It's now. There's a narrator in you that is connected to the one, the real light that you are. Hey, I see you, story. I see you, story. I'm in charge of the way I want to feel today. I'm in charge of the perspective I have. I'm in charge of the company I keep. I'm in charge of the conversation we're having. So, I'm here. I'm awake. Did I just hear somebody ask, but what do you do about the problem? It's one of those things where you have to stay awake and observe. Do you remember that movie, Paul Blart Mall Cop? Observe and report was one of his little things. Observe and report. You have to observe and report. That's what you have to do. Those of us who want a quick fix, a quick answer, we want to just a yes or a no, open the door or close the door kind of a thing. Look, that's just whack-a-mole in another form. That's just a tennis match in another form. What you want is emotional freedom. No? Isn't that what you want? You want emotional freedom. You want emotional control. You want energetic control. You want perspective control, right? So that if the world keeps turning, and guess what? It is, and it will continue to do so, and I have no idea. I mean, I don't even want to go there. What's it going to look like? What's going to happen, The world is going to keep turning. I need to learn how to be awake inside myself and stay present and handle and roll with what is here. That's what I do. So I release the outcome more and more. I release the need for an answer. I release the need for a quick fix. I release the urge to self-soothe so quickly. Some of us really are still. I sound like such an a-hole just now, didn't I? I don't mean it that way, but that's how it came out. So a lot of us are still soothing our anxiety with things that we already know doesn't work. You know, like we've gotten to that point in our journey where we're like, a Twinkie is not going to fix this. Okay, 10 Twinkies are not going to fix this. Or your version of a Twinkie, your version of self-soothing. I know it's not going to fix it. Can I practice staying present a little longer before I go into my self-soothing? I don't think there's anything, friends, really, I don't think there's anything wrong with self-soothing. No matter what it is, it all comes from God. It's all of God. The thing is, can we pause? Can we help ourselves wake up? Can we help ourselves before we just automatically, blindly reach for the thing, whatever the thing is? Can we give a pause there? Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's because you want to be in the driver's seat of this day, of this hour, of this moment, of this minute. You want to be in the driver's seat. So releasing the outcome, releasing the need to, well, I'll say, and embracing the courage to look head on at what's going on. And then, yeah, if it's too much, go ahead. Go ahead and do your distraction dance, whatever it is for you. Hey, there's nothing wrong. I feel like, sometimes the memes on Instagram alone have really done us a disservice. And sometimes I read those things. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. The stuff people retweet sometimes, it's not even spelled out in a way that works. So I'm not sure I know what people are resharing these things with such glee for, because sometimes they don't even make sense. But what I will say is, clearly there's an energy going on, seeking calm and soothing, a feeling like we're going to be okay. And I understand that. You're the one you've been waiting for. It's right inside you. It's going to be okay. Speak to yourself sweetly. No matter what happens, I am here with me. So what's your big fear right now? Think of that. What's your big story? What's your repetitive thing that you seem to get hung up about? I'll riff some for us here, things I hear in session a lot. But think about your own, okay? Even if I do have cancer, even if my partner is depressed, even if I can't find work right now, even if I don't know what my purpose is, what am I meant to do, even if I have anxiety, even if things feel uncertain, even if I look out at the world and I have no clue what the F is going on, people. Even if the candidate is not elected, even if the refugees don't have answers, even if the fires don't extinguish themselves, even if COVID is not done by Christmas, even if this cultural revolution doesn't seem to end and there are no good answers, even if all of that and more, guess what? I am here with me and you are here with you. And that's not nothing. Do you love the company you keep when you're alone? Yes or no? You are here with you. You are not at the mercy of some other thing. You're listening to your own thoughts. You're being influenced by your own experiences. So make a decision that you are here with you. And you want to love the company you keep, the perspectives you churn, the energy you're living with. You want to love that. So you need to work on the things that habitually trip you up. You want to go beyond the place you normally go when you get upset, when you think about the things. No matter what is happening, you are with you. And that's saying something. So it's important to allow yourself to bear what's happening in a way that you can stay present with it. You know that term microdosing? Could you microdose the stuff that's going on in your life that is scary? You have an automatic reaction where it's difficult. It's difficult to stay present when people are talking a certain way. Can you microdose yourself with that? Listen, observe, stay present a little. Stay right here in the moment with it. Stay present, stay clear. Stay here. Right here. And remember that you are here with yourself. You're not alone. You're not helpless. You're not out of control. You're here with yourself. Slow down and talk to yourself. Slow down and listen to your thoughts and then tell yourself what you need to do. I hope I don't sound like a cuckoo bird, but if I do sound like a cuckoo bird, stay with me because I talk to friends about this a lot. Inside of you is one who is connected to everything, multiverses, star stuff. And how does that help you in the middle of a pandemic, for example? If you can allow some space, some time, even just a moment of peace to soften and relax and recall that, even if all you do is remember that I said that, then you're not just at the mercy of Aunt Bertha or what your kid said or did, or that they're not handling this time well, or what you saw on the news. You're not at the mercy of that. It can be a practice, but you can do this. You can break away from that. You can quiet yourself and allow a new voice to emerge there inside of you. The voice of your true self. A self unfazed by much of what's going on now. A self connected and tuned in to bigger energies to help soothe and calm the one part of us, the small self, to help that part of us. I want to know you. You could even talk to yourself like this. I want to know you, my inner guide, my inner knowing, my inner truth, my inner wisdom. Baby steps. If this is totally weird, baby steps then. At least begin with, wow, listen to the thoughts running in my head. And listen to how I talk myself into these situations just by listening and believing the stories I'm making up. There comes great freedom with realizing I am paying attention to these thoughts, and then I'm reacting to these thoughts, and I'm making decisions based on these thoughts. I'm being driven by these thoughts. And I want to help myself out of this back and forth, tennis match kind of a situation. And I want to be less fazed by what's going on in the world or what somebody said about me, or, you know what I'm saying? Because there's one in you totally unfazed by any of this. It reminds me of the Bible verse that says, "And the light shined in the darkness, but the darkness hasn't overcome it." It cannot overcome it. And that's because, like in the Course in Miracles, the light doesn't relate to the darkness. And the darkness can't comprehend the light. You know, it's like these two things don't recognize each other, really. So it's very important that the one in you representing the light is on board, because that's the one we want. Are you feeling me? Did I say that was John 1:5, I think? I'm such a Bible aficionado. I just got out the Google. Google told me what to tell you, but I always remember that passage. It's beautiful. There's actually a lot in the Bible about this light, how we shouldn't hide it under a bushel, right? Yeah, don't do that either. Keep it out in the open where you can get to it. It can be with you at all times. We want to remember the light of which the light we are. We come from the light. We are the light. And whenever I say that, I think about Charmed, the original, when they were fighting the Woogie Man. Of course, because, the Woogie Man is totally representative of the dark stuff. And they had this problem going on in their basement. They had to go battle the Woogie Man. And Phoebe said the prayer, I come from the light. I am one too strong to fight. Go back to where the shadows dwell. You cannot have this Halliwell. That was their last name. I think it went, go away and leave my sight and take with you this endless night. Wow. I can't believe I remembered that whole thing. You have to do what you can to support yourself, to remember who you are and where you come from, and to just stay aware. These stories seem so real. I want to go beyond. I want to help myself once and for all, like make it to the next place. You're not going to be able to eradicate every story. You're not going to be able to fix every situation. Some of us have things that repeat since forever, Those are your lifetime themes, lifetime patterns. Stories that have been with you a really, really long time. Your work is to start understanding you're not that, and to go beyond, and to remember, you're the light. And it's your choice to believe this narration you're doing on yourself right now or not. It's your choice. The mind is always going to be churning its little dire straits, strategizing, inventing, creating chaos. And our job is to go free, to go in the direction we want to go in. So please don't feel bad if you're somebody who regularly is at the mercy of your thoughts. I feel like that's what all of us are doing on some level, and we're learning to wake up out of that and stop. I want to make peace with my upsetting thoughts, with my worry, with my concern. I want to recognize it and make peace with it. That to me is doing something much, much deeper. It's realizing that this stuff that's going on is not all of me. It's not all of me, and so it shouldn't have all of me, So bringing this back around to worldly stuff, I'm thinking about things like, next Tuesday, in the US of A anyway, and as a matter of fact, Jeff and I, we voted today, and we took our ballot to the official ballot place for our district. Driving home, we heard a little story on the news that, places, I think North Carolina was one that came up. I don't know if it's going to pass or not, but the story was saying that they're trying to get a certain amount of days after Election Day for mail-in ballots to be counted. So I was just feeling into that, what do we do? Those of us who are just keep saying, I can't wait for this election to be over, and then I'm going to have my peace, Great example right now in America anyway. Great example. Just need this election to be done, and then whatever the case is, this is a practice that is going to serve you well as the season changes and the light is changing. I mean, my goodness, this morning I can't even take a photograph in the kitchen until almost 8 a.m. right now. I like to post pictures to Instagram every day in my stories. I think it's fun. And just little things I'm doing and things I'm cooking and sometimes what I'm wearing or my desk. I like to take pictures. It's fun. And lately it's been so dark. I can't. Everything's so grainy. But I know for a lot of people, as the darkness encroaches, so do the thoughts, the dark thoughts. Let's practice. Let's get to the center of this thing and practice. What would it look like to really go free? What would it look like to really be free? To absolutely be free? This thing that's bothering you, this story that's got you hung up, ask yourself what you need to do. Ask yourself what the big move is that you need to make. Because, a lot of times the answer is just, I need to stop caring about this. This needs to become less important. This needs to, I got to put some more lights on in the house. The holidays are coming. There's a lot going on with social distancing. What do you know you need to do? Stop with the tennis match. Stop with the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and do the love that heals you. Help yourself. Make the move. I encourage you to sit with that, because I wonder if you're going to find the place in you that actually feels a lot of anxiety at the prospect of being free. So free that you have no worries anymore. The mind doesn't know what to do with that. And, if you sit with that too, just in micro doses, and you encourage yourself to be present with that, see it for what it is, maybe you're going to be able to help yourself learn, actually, I'd rather be free than conjure up old stories just to stay busy in my mind because I can't handle the anxiety of peace. I've told you this story before, but I used to teach A Course in Miracles here at the house in a circle. Sometimes I miss those days. Since COVID, I haven't done any in-person work, and occasionally somebody writes and says, I'll wear my mask. Come on, let's get together. And I don't feel like the timing is right just yet, but, let's see what comes. I like imagining it. I like thinking about us being together in person again at a retreat, at a circle. Who knows? Anything can happen. That's the thing, is let's stay open to the possibility. But back in the day, we were studying the workbook lessons, and we were talking about, I've given this all the meaning it has for me. These upsets I carry, and I've given them all the meaning they have. I'm the one who's decided how this is going to be, how the outcome is going already. I've already decided. And so because of that, I'm getting exactly what I'm asking for over and over and over again. So we were really focused on that. And she said, if I stop telling the story that my husband, is a total letdown, failure, and a disappointment and doesn't ever help out, what's left? So she's quiet for a while and she goes, joy and peace? Like it's a bad thing. Joy and peace? Yeah, we're going to have to learn how to tolerate our joy and peace, my friend. That's what's at the Nougaty Center. Can you tolerate the good vibes we're always saying we want? A lot of us really are not ready for all this jelly, as Beyonce would say. We're not. So we have to keep helping ourselves. This is what's on the other side of stopping your crazy town thoughts, is you also have to learn how to handle the stillness, the peace, or some people call that boredom, the quiet, the nothing that might be going on for long periods of time. But again, you are with yourself and you can do this. And when you get to that place, you'll realize very quickly you move beyond into a little place I like to call freedom and delight. Now the world can truly be your oyster. If you can master this thing I'm talking about today, being free of your upsetting thoughts, understanding you're narrating all the plays and you're choosing all the thoughts, and you're not at anybody's mercy, not even a pandemic, not even a cultural revolution, not even a political WTF moment in history can take your knees out from under you unless you say yes to that. Unless you say yes. You have to be in agreement with that. So we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. At the center, at the gooey center of this whole thing is you and the light you truly are. And all possibility surround you. All possibilities surround you here. And should you ever need a friend to hold your hand, that's me. I hope you count this time as that for you. And always we can walk together in a session. I'm currently testing out a new half-hour phone session just to see how that works for us all. Works for me and works for you. So that might be an option as well. Always, I'm here to help you go beyond the scary point you normally stop at, and let's get you to the nougaty, chewy center. My friend, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. May that serve you today. So, inspiration today, as I'm thinking along about what we've just been talking about, it reminds me of walking through my house, how many reminders are out for me to see at all times. Things that bring me hope, things that bring me a near constant reminder of who I truly am. And so I wonder what you can do today, like right away, like now as you're listening, to put some things together to create a sacred space for yourself. It's totally up to you to determine what this looks like, where it is, what you put there. But how about some reminders back to yourself that you can do this, that you can go beyond these places you're really struggling with. The story is there and, persistent. I was thinking about this the other day. I have been talking to people for 24 years, one way or another, about healing and the journey and observing friends on the journey, holding hands with friends, flying wing to wing, however you want to say it. Our stories are super consistent. They hang around for years, decades. So whatever your deal is, and we're so okay even if we have a deal. What is your story? What is your thing? What dots have you connected today? Are you anxious? Are you afraid? Do you feel like you can't make it? You never can pull it together? Do you feel like you just never get anywhere? These stories are so powerful. So you know what you need to hear to make it better. You know what needs to be said to you to feel better. You know what works. All we're looking for is some special juju created by you for you to help you through this time. Now that can be an altar. I talk to you a lot about the altars I have, and in fact my entire house looks like a sacred space. Sacred space. Everywhere I look, I see beauty and color and delight and an essence of me. Me. And I can also see number one husband too, and his reminders back to himself, who he truly is. So what if we took that another step and we wrote some words on a page and posted that where we would see it. You know, you are going to make it. I don't know what the words are that you need to hear. I'm looking at a sign. I know what it says by heart. I can't read it from here, but it says, stop attempting to own other people's problems. Stop it. It's exhausting. Stop. Use your energy instead to own yourself. Own yourself. Stop taking on other people's crap. That sign, I can tell you, it's probably 10 years old, but there was a time where I would stand in front of that thing and read it. There were times where I forgot. I remembered there was a sign. I could not remember what the words were. I would go over and read the sign and feel all this relief. And you know what? Eventually, that is how I got through. Not owning other people's problems. So what can you do? What do you need to do? What do you need to hear? I really encourage us today to do this. Do it. Do it. Do it. You're a good person. Write that down. You can totally do this. Write that down. Now is always new. I know a lot of you write me. You love when I say that. Now is always new. This moment is new. Now, new, now, new, now. You know? Help yourself. Make it beautiful. Do something special just for you. Sacred space. Place for you. Maybe it's a whole room. Maybe it's the corner of your room, the closet, behind your couch in the living room. You know, move the couch forward. Unless it's on the wall. But, you know, find somewhere you can create a little nook for yourself. Don't you just love that word nook? Nook, nook, nook. Right here at my desk, I have a beautiful little altar. Help yourself out. Nobody does this without some attention to detail. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, I'm going to bake a cake. Yes, but, you know, I'm not going to assemble the ingredients. Or I'm going to bake a cake. Okay, I'll assemble the ingredients. I'm not going to mix anything together, right? Or, okay, I assembled the cake. I assembled the ingredients. I mixed everything up in the bowl. I poured it in the cake pan. I didn't turn on the oven. Let's turn on the oven today. Let's help ourselves out. We are so amazing. I promise we are the ones we've been waiting for. There's never been anything wrong with us. We are always just, gosh, it's so true, isn't it? I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? Beautiful, intelligent, meant to be. This day is ours, whatever we want. All right, there you go. Friends, this is where I like to ask you to support the podcast. If you're receiving nuggets, are you receiving any nuggets today? Help somebody else find this love. The peeps already looking for this kind of love. Oh, wow. And as I said that, the lights came on. It's been such a gloomy, doomy, gloomy day. And all of a sudden, the lights came on. And by lights, I mean the sun. Oh, my goodness, Robin. Just for a moment, the light came out. I love that. The lights came on. Oh, boy. Any way you feel called to support this love, I appreciate it. And, you know, never forget, receiving and applying it, doing the work for you is so powerful. You know, when you're talking to your friend next time and you recognize their places that they're a little stuck, their familiar story, instead of, you know, internally rolling your eyes about what they're saying, take another step, say something, share something, you know? Okay. Thank you, always. So I didn't have a letter this week, but as it always turns out beautifully, that a friend had texted me listening to last week's podcast, episode 112, and I asked her to let me share with you as well. And I thank you always for that, friends. Thank you so much. I know sometimes, you write to me and you're not expecting me to ask you. And I hope you know it's always okay to say no, you're not comfortable. So this goes out to you, Jen, with so much love in my heart and my gratitude. Hi, Robin. Wow, I'm sitting here listening to your podcast and I have goosebumps. I feel like it is speaking right to me. Today and some past days, I have fallen into the same crappy thinking. The weather has changed. The sun is not out for days. It's cold. I could go on and on. This thinking then leads to, we should move, by my brother, where it's warm, where the sun shines more, etc. And then I continued to feel like crap. A dark cloud over my head. I get mad at myself for these thoughts. I get angry for my selfishness. My life is so blessed in so many ways. I should not feel this way. Well, your podcast was just a huge light into my negative thinking. I have these feelings or thoughts, and it's always the story, we should move to fix it. These thoughts mean we should be living somewhere else. But maybe that's not the story. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Or I don't have to know. Instead, I have these icky thoughts and feelings, period. Now I can recognize the feelings and allow the light in. Did that make any sense? Or am I just rambling? How did I do? That's so cute, isn't it? How did I do? Any guidance? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Jen. Thank you, Jen. First of all, I gotta say, it is such a joy. It's such a joy. It's such a joy. And I said this on 112, to ride with friends who get it, who understand, who relate, who are working on it. You know, it's such a joy to know I'm not the only one. And I'm sure many of us are nodding along with that right now too, right? We are not alone and we're not the only ones. And it's just like we've been saying all along. We're the ones we've been waiting for, you know? Oh my goodness, it's 3:33 on the clock right now, on the time. Yeah, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So, thank you. How did you do? I give you 500 stars. This is perfect. I mean, you know, first of all, we're all having I was just saying this, the lifetime themes or the lifetime, you know, the big ticket items that just don't, the ongoing stories that just don't seem to go away easily, even though, you know, we feel like we've done the work around them. This tennis match continues to be here. Should I stay? Should I go? Is this good? Is this bad? Am I right in how I'm feeling? Should I be grateful? Am I spoiled? Am I selfish? You know, we could do this to the death forever. So I already hear that gorgeous practice coming in, realizing I am the one who's given all of this the meaning that it has for me. I'm the one deciding when the weather is crappy that it means I have to leave. And I'm also the one making meaning out of acknowledging a need is selfish of me. You know, I'm so blessed. I should be happy. So I think we're always going to have these things. We're going to have these things happening, noticings, you know? And that's okay. What is new is deciding to go beyond the place we normally do. And so, like you just said, you know, I can recognize the feelings, and I can let the light in. I can allow the light in. And I can also let this one in me be here who says, I wish it was different. I would like it to be different. I can hold the hand of the one in me who suffers, and frankly, that one in me, if I don't acknowledge her, at some point she begins to be like that one in Target having the meltdown that gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and worse and worse and worse. It just gets, and it morphs into more and more things. It's like it has spores on it somehow, and it's spreading to other topics and areas in my life. So yeah, let's take the hand of the one who's like, I gotta move. I want to be where it is, where it's at, the sun, my family, And maybe it's a right thing to allow ourselves to ponder. But the biggest thing is recognizing I've fallen into some crappy thinking. And I see how this is going. The weather's changed, the sun hasn't been out, and when that happens, I turn to the same story. Here it is again. Remember Neil Diamond's song, Hello Again, Hello. Just called to let you know. Oh, man. It's so easy to fall into that. We are, that amazes me, how easily we also remember our practice too. More and more it's becoming easier. So you described this so beautiful, the tennis match, right? The upset comes, and then on the other side of the net is my reaction. And then on the other side of the net comes I hit the ball back to the upset, and it sends me over another version of the story, and then I fight it off with a little bit of a healthy dose of powerful, power thinking and positive affirmations, and then the upset lobs the ball back to me, and here I go with shaming myself, shoulding myself, telling myself I should be blessed, I'm too blessed to be stressed, and all that. And that we recognize that as a thing that's happening, I gotta say, that's a high-level skill. And anybody listening along, if you just clicked in with that, if you understand what I'm saying, that's a high-level skill. There is a lot of hope here. Because you're just one step away from leaving the tennis court. And when you leave the tennis court, now the whole universe is open to you. It's possible for you to realize, hey, this is just a back and forth story. I make the rules. I determine the outcome. I call the shots here. I'm the one making the meaning here. I'm the one determining the outcome here. I'm the one calling it like I see it here. Do I like how I'm calling it like I see it here? No? Okay, then I know what I need to do. So I hope I'm making sense. It's really important. And a lot of us suffer over things that we also have shame about. I hear stories all the time, and I feel like it's not a special skill of mine. It's just the truth that none of us should feel ashamed about things that bother us or upset us or worry us. It's just our particular way, just our particular way. And I certainly share enough of my particular way. I know you know those stories, and like people like Wayne Dyer, who talked so openly about his stories, and not at all comparing myself on that level, by the way, just saying like, I guess my mind was thinking, I so appreciate people who keep it real and share their real stuff. You know, it's so much better to rip that Band-Aid off, so to speak, and just let yourself acknowledge, hey, this isn't really even me. This is the upset one, the small self or the ego self or the shadow, not the shadow, but, the opponent in me, the one that's trying to keep the churn going, to keep the churn alive. So that's what I mean. I'm kind of cracking myself up at the same time. We're the ones we've been waiting for. We can take our own hands. We can hold on to this one that is upset. We can even narrate, we can even announce to ourselves, hey, this is where you go a lot. Or you can say, hey, this is where she goes a lot. Sometimes I talk directly to somebody's ego, like it's a second person in a session, like second person sitting with us, because it just works. So you might try that too. Hey, I hear you telling her she has to move because the weather got bad. I just want you to know, thank you for your input. You don't have to be mean, but thanks for your input. Got it. We got it. See what works for you. Sometimes you can do it with love. Hey, I hear that. That's a scary story you're telling there. I hear that. I want you to know I hear it. Would you like to hold my hand? I mean, this is the thing. You got to risk being a weirdo at this point if you want to help yourself. I think it's the ones in us who are so afraid to do anything too weird or too woo that are going to struggle the most. We're still trying to look normal, even on our insides, even in the privacy of our own minds. We're trying to seem normal. Don't do it. And I love just hear, Jen, how you said, I have these feelings or thoughts and it's always the story. We should move to fix it. You have a lot of company here. A lot of us are telling that story. When these feelings come, I should break up with this person. I should leave this relationship. I should leave my job. Think about it. I should leave this school. I should drop this class. I should drop this friend. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like, this is where we go. This is my familiar place. So if it's helpful to you, sometimes the only thing you can really try in those moments is to speak to it head on. Say thank you for even the awakening and the awareness. Thank you. I mean, my God, you're not just on that tennis court, And the other thing is, say a prayer. I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. I want to be at peace. So I'm willing to decide otherwise. And I'm willing to give this up, offer this up, willing to allow God in. Like you said, allow the light in to help me. And that's the prayer from the Course in Miracles in chapter 5, the very last paragraph. And I'll put this all in the show notes, episode 113. There's one line I'm looking at here, and it says, I will not feel guilty, because if I hand this over, all the actions around my wrong decision making will be healed again. If I allow the light in, if I allow God to help me, all the actions, all the energy I put into this situation will right itself again if I allow Spirit to help me. And that is a beautiful thing. If it's more your thing about Paul Selig, I know a lot of you really liked that prayer I shared. Was it episode 111? I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth, and I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. Friends, these are not just any old prayers. These are alchemical shifts. They change the alchemy of the energy we've been creating with our fear and our worry. And again, all of us have this. So these are the power plays that we can do. I think about how you can't really fight your way off the tennis court by continuing to return the ball to your upset self. You can't get off the court at the same time as you continue to answer that energy back. So we have to do a bigger jump for our healing to really transpire. God, I hope I'm making sense. Let's have some tea. So I thank you. Again, you did great. I'm amazed. So wonderful to have friends who are on the journey doing this transformational work. It's beautiful, and I thank you. And like I say, friends, if I can do something for you, I hope you will. Write to me, hello@robinhallett.com, or message me on social media, probably the easiest. Well, friends, that wraps another gorgeous, beautiful episode of Tea with Robin. Episode 113 in the can. May we remember we are the ones we've been waiting for. We do have the power to heal, to help, to lift ourselves and each other. And let's hang in there in these next days as things are going on. A few of you in England told me you're getting ready to go back. I just heard this, so you're going back into a quarantine. Whatever the next days bring, with all of the things going on around the world, wherever you are, whatever's going on, remember that we ride together. And it's in that together knowing that we continue to ride. You know what I mean? We continue to glide together. We continue to float together. We continue to heal together. We continue to remember the light together. So much love to you. This has been me, Robin, Heart Sparkler Hallett, and I'll see you here next week or in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Life is very short, let's make the very most of it. You are a precious gem and I love you. Do 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 do. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem and I love you. Do 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 do. Life is precious and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss. Thanks.